What's good with it, Black Goose TV family? As always, double salute. It's your boy Fluence Boxing back in the building with more Fluence Boxing news. Look, I'm coming at y'all with a surprise tonight. Instead of just the regular videos that I can pop out, I was feeling different, man. I said I wanted to go ahead. I wanted to go live tonight. And it was just something inside of me. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's because I didn't do my Fluence Lounge Saturday. Maybe it's because I wanted to go live Sunday, but instead I gave y'all the videos. I don't know what the case was. But tonight I said, man, for Fluence Boxing, man, fuck the videos. You know what I'm saying? And I know I messed the algorithm up by cussing in the beginning of the first like 2-3 minutes, but it is what it is. That's how passionate I feel about it. I wanted to go live for Fluence Boxing. So that's exactly what I'm doing. So salute to the people once again. It's Monday. Maybe I want to start my Monday off a little bit differently. You know what I'm saying? I want the week to go by a little faster so we can get to the weekend, because we got a fire ass fight this weekend. I ain't missing Fluence Lounge. There ain't no way I'm missing Fluence Lounge this weekend with Tefi Malobas versus Kappa happening. Now, we're not going to be talking about that tonight, and we may end up talking about it in case somebody comes up here, drops a comment in the chat, and they have a particular, topic that they want to talk about. If that's the case, okay, get it. But other than that, we got some topics we're going to follow by. We're going to get to. We're going to make sure we understand. Y'all can see that there below. But before we even get up into this thing, man, I appreciate anybody who is going to come in this thing. Just make sure when you do, please show some love by hitting the like button. You feel me? Subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is right next to the like button. You already know, because YouTube's been around for years, so I don't got to tell you. I'm just trying to make sure y'all see it. Show some love. Road to 5K before the end of the year. I'm really trying to get to that 5K. I don't know if I'm gonna get it. I'm being a little bit skeptical because y'all be showing me love and y'all don't show me love. So I don't know, man. But what do I got to do to get to the 5K? Let me know. If I got to change something about the content, add something to the content, let me know, man. I'm all open for suggestions. So shoot them out if you have them. But road to 5K for the end of the year, of course. Notification gang down below, and then comment on this joint. To give me an algorithm. Now, all that is out the way. I don't know how this live is going to go tonight. I don't know how long it's going to go tonight. I don't expect it to be too long because, your boy got to work tomorrow morning. But either way, it might end up getting nice and detailed and worth, dragging it out a little longer than it should be. And if it does, y'all see the link right there. Y'all can either go ahead and email me at BlakGooseTelevision.com. Let me actually, when it comes to the banner, I see, I'm going to hide it real quick because I don't know why I do this. I spelled the actual email wrong, so let me get that pop and save. All right, I'm gonna put it back up. All right, so you guys can see down below, you got the email there, BlakGooseTelevision at gmail.com. If you guys want to join the actual live, if you catch it in time, just go ahead and send me an email there. I'll shoot, I'll go ahead and shoot the link over. If you guys don't want to do all that hard work, go into the comments. You guys can see the first comment posted by myself. Just click on that link and I can get you guys up in here. So that's going to be the new thing when it comes to a lot of lives. That's going to be the lives. I'm allow you guys to be able to join in and, of course, stay in, present your topics as long as you're not on the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? We can get it popping. So now with that being out of the way, once again, I just want to say, salute to the people, man. Hopefully your Monday's going absolutely amazing. And if it's not, at the very least, we're at the end of the Monday, so you can, start planning for Tuesday and making sure that, it's a lot better there. But we got some boxing news we want to get into tonight. And if you guys have a topic you want to talk about, make sure you guys drop it in the chat below. But what I want to talk about, that's what we're going to be touching on first, and it has to do with Tyson Fury, Derek Chisora. Now, last we heard from Tyson Fury, last that we heard from Chisora, were two very different things. And why do I say they were both two very different things? It's because, Tyson Fury was saying he was done. He was saying he was retired. He was saying that he didn't want to come back. And he said if they were to make him come back, or let me rephrase that, rewind. If he was to come back or be enticed to come back, he would expect an absolutely ridiculous payday. He said he would have to be paid somewhere around an astronomical number in order for him to even consider getting back in the ring and possibly putting his life on the line. Because one of the main things that Tyson Fury was very, very big on talking about, or at the very least, letting it be known to his supporters and any, haters or anybody who was listening to, was the fact that he felt he took a tremendous amount of damage in the Deontay Wilder trilogy. Or I can even phrase it in the sense of maybe he didn't take a whole lot of damage in the Deontay Wilder trilogy, but he felt the type of damage that makes you look at boxing and say, well, damn, I don't want to experience that again or make it possibly worse, because will I be able to recover from that? That's something that Tyson Fury has expressed on numerous occasions. Now, the fact all of a sudden, you guys can see here, I pulled up the article, boxingscene.com. Fury to Chisora, you're running from the Trilogy. Get the fucking contract signed. Now, this is coming out of nowhere. The last reports that I saw from Tyson Fury, like I said, was that he was retired and he's not coming back unless he was paid a certain amount, right? And then now let's talk about Chisora, where I said, you know, both of them were on completely separate stages or completely separate points of their career. I just named where Fury was at. Now, when we look at Derek Chisora, he's just coming off a very, very hard-fought win against Kubrat Pulev. But a win, nonetheless. It was very entertaining. I enjoyed every single minute of it, every single second of it. It was a great time. You know what I'm saying? It was absolutely a good time. But with that being said, Derek Chisora called out a specific name after that happened. He called out a very specific name. What was the name that he called out, guys? It's very familiar. I think it starts with the D. You know what I'm saying? Last name starts with a W. Deontay Wilder. See how clever I did that? I drank right after. You know what I'm saying? Dramatic pause. So Derek Chisora wants Deontay Wilder next. Deontay Wilder has no interest in Derek Chisora because Deontay Wilder, he wants to come back for one of the bigger fights, right? He wants to come back for an Anthony Joshua fight. He wants to come back for a possible Usyk fight. Some are saying that he wants to come back and he'll fight the winner of Andy Ruiz versus Luis Ortiz, which is coming up soon. So he's looking in that direction, right? Now, when we look at Tyson Fury said he'll only come back for a very, very big payday. But I also remember there was a lot of rumors that was going around saying that Tyson Fury might be considering fighting Derek Chisora. What's weird to me about this whole entire situation, even though it might just be all hype, but the fact that Derek Chisora never brought up Tyson Fury in his post-fight interview. And I don't understand why he wouldn't, because he would make a lot of money from it. So that's interesting. He called out Wilder. We've seen Eddie Hearn even say, I would love to try and make that fight happen. But for some reason, now we're in a position where we see Fury calling out Chisora, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying, I guess you could say the lack of words coming from Chisora when it comes to this particular fight, that may be based around the fact that maybe he also, you know, had the same perception as everyone else, is that Fury was going to retire, right? That may easily be the situation, right? But I'm not 100% sure. Obviously, no one's 100% sure. So we're going to get into this article. I'm going to read some of this article. I'm going to see if there's anything, you know, inside of the article that I can talk about that hopefully answers some of the questions that I have, or maybe solidify some of the things or some of the speculations that I'm putting out there in the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it is just very interesting that we're looking at a guy like Tyson Fury being in a certain position, right? Saying certain demands, understanding how popular he is, to all of a sudden come out of nowhere and say, hey, Chisora, hey, look, let's do this trilogy. I already sent out a contract. I ain't said nothing about it. I didn't even tell anybody that had any type of interest in this particular fight. Sign the fight. Sign the contract. That's interesting to me, but I'm definitely interested to see what this particular article sheds lights on. So salute to boxingscene.com as always, man. They always providing with that shit. You feel me? So as you guys can see, I've, you know what I'm saying, said it a million times. Fury to Chisora, you're running from the trilogy, get the fucking contract signed. So let's see where this is coming from. Let's try and find out where is the origin of this back and forth coming from. Because I heard, like I said before, I've heard rumors. It was a little bit of rumbles in the jungles, you know what I'm saying, when it came to this possibly happening. But I personally didn't think it was. I was like, nah, man, ain't no way this shit finna happen. It's not even possible. You feel me? Like there ain't no way I could possibly see this fight actually happening, because Tyson Fury demanded $1 million. Well, not $1 million, but like $100 million, $200 million, $1 billion. You feel me? Something crazy. Deontay Wilder saying he's only going to come back and he'll only be willing to face a guy like Anthony Joshua, Usyk, Andy Ruiz, even Luis Ortiz if Ortiz does beat Andy. But, you know, Derek Chisora called out Deontay, and Deontay didn't even acknowledge it, right? So just the thought of this being a possibility is interesting to me. So let's go ahead and get into this article. WBC heavyweight champion Tyson Fury has demanded Derek Chisora sign the contract for their trilogy fight. As BoxingScene.com previously reported, Chisora's management revealed they were approached with an offer to have a trilogy fight with Fury, which reportedly would take place before the end of the year. Fury was in action back in April when he knocked out mandatory challenger Dillian White in 6 rounds. Last month, Chisora won a tough 12-round against Kubrat Pulev. Chisora suffered his first career defeat to Fury in 2011 with the big man outboxing him over 12 rounds. They had a rematch in 2014 with Fury battering and stopping Chisora in 10 rounds. Over the years, Fury and Chisora became good friends, but recently the two boxers had a bad falling out. The animosity stems from Chisora openly backing White to beat Fury in their mandatory fight. Chisora said he was willing to stake his house on the outcome. In a recent interview, Chisora's promoter Andy Hearn of Matchroom said the offer from Fury was too low. Fury disagrees. On Monday, he took to social media to post a video to verbally blast Chisora for his delay in signing the contract. This one goes out to Derek, the shithouse Chisora. You're running Derek from the Trilogy. Fury said you call yourself War, but you should call yourself Chicken because you're running from the Trilogy and running from a career-high payday. Get the fucking contract signed. A few days ago, Fury's co-promoter Frank Erman explained that his boxer was getting the itch to fight again. Fury had previously vowed to retire in the aftermath of his knockout of White. He's got itchy feet at the moment. He wants to fight. I think that's what's going to happen is see what happens on August 20th between AJ and Alexander Usyk. And the outcome of that, and that will determine what he intends to do in the future, in my opinion. This is not for him. This is not from him. It's from me. I think he will return because he's a fighting man. He misses it. That's what he does. He wants to fight. And that was about that. That was before Fury said anything to Chisora. So most likely, I don't see why this fight doesn't happen. You know, I think this is a big fight for Chisora. There's no reason why Chisora should even get an opportunity. Well, that's disrespectful. I'm not going to say that. There is a reason why Chisora should get this opportunity because he's loved in the UK. You know, they love him. They definitely want to see him fight again. Him winning and beating Kubrat Pulev in a very close fight that some people said that maybe, you know what I'm saying, it should have been a draw. Maybe he shouldn't have won. Maybe that was, that now we have a reasoning behind why now we're in a case where, Tyson Fury is calling out Chisora, and Chisora versus Tyson Fury is something that people would want to see again, even though Chisora lost both of the fights. It's very interesting when you look at boxing. It's like, okay, why did that happen? And it's like, oh, when you watch a movie, when you watch a really good movie, great storytelling, they put something out in the beginning of the movie. And you're like, why did they just show that? You know what I'm saying? Like an hour down the line in the movie, like, oh, it all makes sense. So that's kind of what I see. And what I'm going to show you guys right now, real quick, we're going to show the actual call out coming from Tyson Fury, so we can actually hear him. Instead of y'all hearing me, we can hear the word strictly out of Tyson Fury's mouth. So you guys go. I'm going to go ahead and turn that volume up for you. Let's go ahead and start that from the beginning. Let's listen.
This one goes out to Derek, the shithouse Chisora. You're running, Derek, from the Trilogy. Call yourself War, but you should call yourself Chicken because you're running from a Trilogy from a career highest payday. Get a fucking contract signed. Stop being a shithouse.
Get KD, Joshua's bag carrier, to call me and let me get this deal ironed out like I'm going to iron you out. Not a problem. 2 seconds. Bang. Done.
Top of the morning. You know what day it is? Monday day. Been bust balls on this. Mom's become so lazy she don't want to come in the morning anymore.
Just another Monday. Justin.
It's go time. Let's go. Highest payday.
So what y'all think, man? What do you guys think personally? Like, I personally think Tyson Fury versus Derek Chisora is going to happen. It doesn't make sense. It's too much money in it. Think about it. It will sell out the Wimbledon. Easy. There's too many people that love Derek Chisora. There's too many people that love Tyson Fury. Obviously, we know Tyson Fury can't fight in the U.S. again. Why wouldn't this fight happen? So we're definitely going to see Tyson Fury versus Derek Chisora 3 happen. That's a fact. How will this fight go? Will it be anything different? That's a question, or a particular topic that I don't want to really talk about because it's too early. We're not even in the situation where we're actually have a date or anything like that. This is all speculation, but it makes sense because we have Wilder supposedly coming back. So why wouldn't Tyson Fury come back? And please remember, I'm probably not the first one. I don't know if I'm the first one, but remember, y'all, I've been told y'all Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 4 is going to happen. And I promise you that's going to be the fight where you see Tyson Fury back in the U.S. That's my mystical prediction. What's good with it? Lee Dre Stevens. I guess it's a UK moneymaker, but an easy Fury win. Yeah, they're gonna make they're gonna make so much money for Derek Chisora versus Tyson Fury. Look, this is what's interesting. This is what you can really look at. Tyson Fury said, "I'm retired. The only way I'm gonna come back for a certain fight is I have to make this a astronomical amount of money." Well, he's not gonna make that amount of money when it comes to the offer or the purse guaranteed on the contract when it comes against Derek Chisora. But he's going to make a lot of money when it comes to him having a percentage in probably all of the revenue shares, ticket sales, pay-per-view buys, because that thing is going to be packed out in the UK because, as us US fans, we don't understand how, what's a good comparison for Derek Chisora in the States when it comes to a boxing guy? Because I can't say Triple G, man. It's really hard, man. It's really hard to say because the US, we don't really respect or we don't really follow a lot of boxers that end up taking a certain amount of L's, even if they give a great performance. Like we haven't reached the heights that MMA has in the US. That boxing, we haven't reached that heights that MMA has in the US yet as fans, where we appreciate a boxer who goes in and really gives his all and puts on an amazing performance. But, majority of the time, ends up losing the biggest fights. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for me to put someone out there. I guess we can go more in the older days. In the older days, yes, we used to do that. But ever since, the Al Heyman days, that hasn't been the case. So it's hard for me really to think about someone. But Derek Chisora is a household name over in the UK, period. So Derek Chisora versus Tyson Fury 3, this is the perfect time for it to happen. Chisora is coming off of that win over Pulev, a very tough win over Pulev. Remember that? So that's fire. And so Chisora has all the momentum right now. Fury is a big name in the UK. We all know, even though Fury was saying he was going to retire, if he was going to come back, it had to make sense. So, now Fury is looking at the fact that he sees Deontay Wilder putting himself back in the mix. Andy Ruiz versus Luis Ortiz is happening. Joe Joyce versus Joseph Parker is happening. Usyk versus Joshua is happening. It's like it almost seemed like the heavyweight division was dead, and that joint is popping again. And Tyson Fury's probably like, "Yo, I'm the king of this shit, so I can't." But I might be wrong. I don't want to see Wilder lose to Fury again. Laugh out loud, but for real, I understand that, Lee Dre. I agree with that, but just think if there's enough fights in between. Fury's already on the top of the hill. So we can't necessarily think any more of Fury and his ability to do what he does, right? But just think if Wilder comes back and he fights the winner of Andy Ruiz versus Luis Ortiz and he knocks out the winner of whoever that is. We're going to be like, Now all of a sudden, Wilder fights Anthony Joshua Usyk winner. He knocks whoever that is out. We're like, oh, shit. I promise you're going to want to see that Fury versus Wilder fight. I'm not saying any of those things can happen, but I'm just saying in the perfect storm, probably in the mind of Wilder understands if I do enough, I'll be in the position to have another chance to take what I feel like always been mine. And it's like, but I agree. Like I specifically agree, and I'm not talking about the chances of Wilder actually beating Fury, because you got to understand when it comes to boxing is entertainment at the end of the day. So if enough things happens in between certain events that might make us doubt the fighter, everything changes. So I'm telling you, man, and I appreciate that saying, good point. Like that, I'm telling you, if Wilder comes back and he does some beautiful things, because it's already speculated that Andy Ruiz versus Luis Ortiz winner is going to be fighting Wilder. That's already being put out there. And I really believe that's going to be the case. Because I really believe Usyk versus AJ, I'm very, what's the word? I'm weary on that fight. And the reason why I'm weary is because that fight makes more money for Anthony Joshua to beat Usyk and to have a rematch. And then they have a trilogy. Why am I saying this? Andy Ruiz didn't get a trilogy. That's because Andy Ruiz wasn't supposed to win. Usyk, they knew there was a chance he was going to win. They also understand that him being the person who beats Joshua, they can still make a lot of money in the UK. And they're still keeping majority of the cash in-house. Losing to Andy Ruiz, you're splitting everything 50-50. Sometimes you might even have to end up being, 55, 45 because we're the B-side after we lose. So as soon as we can get that belt back, we don't want to. There's no trilogy because we're talking about promotion. We're talking about where the money goes. With Usyk, it's a little bit different. So I won't be surprised if we see AJ possibly beating Usyk in that second fight and we have a trilogy fight because it makes a lot more sense. Why does it make sense? It allows Joe Joyce to have his fight with Joseph Parker, right? Now that fight takes place, we have a definitive new up-and-coming talent that we need to pay attention to. Andy Ruiz versus Luis Ortiz happens. Now we know who Deontay Wilder is going to fight in his comeback. AJ versus Usyk. Let's just say if Usyk beats AJ again, AJ is basically looking at, okay, I got to either fight Deontay Wilder or I got to fight Fury. He's not in a good position here. Or losing money here. That doesn't make any sense. Let's have Usyk versus AJ. 2, AJ beats Usyk, and let's go to the trilogy. Because that gives everyone else in the division enough time where we can be at a point where Tyson Fury beats Derek Chisora, Deontay Wilder fought the winner of Andy Ruiz versus Ortiz, Joseph Parker, Joe Joyce was definitively done, and now we literally have these 3 guys that we can possibly potentially make a matchup for whoever the winner of Usyk versus AJ3 is, and most likely it's going to be Tyson Fury, and it's going to allow the heavyweight division to keep creating all this revenue because we have all these what ifs. That's the point of business, baby. I can see 3 AJ Usyk fights. Absolutely, man. As much as I do not think AJ should win the rematch because I think Usyk is just too skilled, I just have a damn feeling, man. Bottom of my gut. I'm like, you know what? I just think with everything happening, we had Tyson Fury himself said he's retired. He has to make over, 500 million. I don't know what the fuck his number was, but it was a ridiculous amount. It's like his nigga was asking for more money than a third world country, brings in, income wise in the entire country in a year. You know what I'm saying? He was asking for that for one contract. So for him to all of a sudden now be telling Derek Chisora, you know what I'm saying? You can see he a cat, you feel me? We're not signing the contract. So you finna just go. So we all know the situation when it comes to Fury. He can't get back in the States. So obviously, you know what I'm saying? He's probably going to be on a UK World Tour. That's also another reason why I think, you know what I'm saying, my conspiracy or my theory or my hypothesis, whatever the fuck you want to call it, is going to be accurate because you got to understand Tyson Fury can't fight in the States. So it wouldn't make any sense to rush a Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk fight, a Tyson Fury versus AJ fight. You want to build that up as much as possible because there's no ability for it to be in the States. Now, would it be in the States? No, but just think if Tyson Fury fights against AJ, fights against Usyk, beats all these guys, Deontay Wilder beats the winner of Andy Ruiz versus Luis Ortiz. You know what I'm saying? Say Tyson Fury fights Usyk, Deontay Wilder fights AJ, Deontay Wilder beats AJ. You don't think there's not enough money and revenue swirling around for the U.S. to say, all right, Tyson, you can come back over here, but for this one fight, just so you can fight Deontay. That's just my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury is the biggest fight known to date right now. And I keep trying to tell people this and no one wants to believe me. There's no bigger fight that can happen in boxing era right now, at least, or I call it the era that I'm in right now before I get old, or older, etc. Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, that's the biggest fight. Nothing bigger. 4. I'm like, there's no other bigger. Earl Spence, Terrence Crawford, no. Canelo, Triple G3, no. Bivol versus Canelo 2, no. Artur Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol, no. None of these fights, Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia, no. Like the biggest fight in our era right now, to if it's going to be made, is Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. 4. Tyson Fury knows it. Deontay Wilder knows it. If you tell me that's not going to happen, come on, man. That's the debate I should talk to the right side and his boy about. I said my debate was going to be Keith Thurman being the best 147er, or he's accomplished more. But I'm like, man, now the biggest fight in our era for it to happen is Fury. Anyways, Lee Dre Stevens said Fury versus any UK fighter probably packs Wembley. That's a fact. No, I agree with that. But if you want me to be 100, I think Derek Chisora versus Dillian White would be is going to be, if it ends up happening, it will end up happening in my personal opinion, is going to be a bigger fight than the Dillian White versus Tyson Fury fight. They love I'm telling you, man, Derek Chisora is beloved over there. Absolutely beloved, man. I'm telling you, man. They love him. So I actually think it's smart, man, to go from Dillian White. And Dillian White is actually, it's a hit or miss. I feel like Dillian White just now kind of started getting love out there, and backed by the UK. But Derek Chisora, man, they love him, man. It would be a much bigger fight. Tyson Fury versus Derek Chisora 3 will be a bigger fight than the Dillian White versus Tyson Fury fight. I guarantee that. He's going to generate a lot more revenue when he comes to that particular fight. So it's smart, and that's why I think it's going to happen. That's why I think, there's no chance for it not to happen, in my personal opinion. And it makes sense, what I'm saying? I just described, all the expectations, all the possible events, all the things, I'm saying, that they're speculating for to happen. Well, I'm speculating. And the reason why I'm speculating is just because I feel like it's out there clear as day. But it all depends on what you're looking at, man. Make sure, by the way, if y'all come up in here, man, hit the like button, show some love. Subscribe to the channel if you're not part of the subscribe motherfucking family on the BlakGooseTV side of the game, man. Happy Monday to everybody, man. Salute to the people. So I don't know if I was long-winded on that, but I felt very passionate when I started talking about it, because I'm saying, and I'm gonna remember this. I had to write this down somewhere. Hopefully I remember this joint. But I need to debate against someone. Someone tell me why Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 4 is not the biggest fight that could happen within the next decade. That's my personal opinion, man. But I'm not going to get too crazy into that. I'm not going to get too far into that. You know what I'm saying? Let's just go ahead and move on to the next. You know what I'm saying? We got some Keith Thurman business to talk about. You feel me? And I know Keith Thurman be getting a lot of hate. And I like the fact that I was able to transition to Keith Thurman, because that's going to be one of my potential, hopefully, topics that I'm going to debate with some people, because people they're not respecting Keith. And I don't understand the reason why, man. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's like they forgot who he was, what he's done, and what my guy has accomplished, man. It's like it don't matter. But it's all good, man, because I'm here to try and remind y'all. You feel me? So we go into the next topic. We got Keith Thurman calling out, saying, pronouncing, putting into the atmosphere. He said he's willing to fight Conor Benn next. Now, look, the only reason why I'm talking about this, there's a couple of reasons, right? One, Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. was supposed to, or is supposed, I said was, excuse me, is supposed to happen. But there's some problems going on the negotiation side of the game, man. It seemed all, what I'm saying, but, a done deal. All they had to do was put the pen to the paper, and that's always usually, what I'm saying, the hold up and what everybody's waiting for, right? But why do we still not have a date? Well, Fluence, because you see I'm talking to myself. Fluence, tell the people why we don't still have a date. Well, I'm going to tell y'all why. Look, apparently there was this particular situation or particular clause in the contract that said that Chris Eubank Jr. would not be able to rehydrate past a certain weight limit in order for the fight to happen. Chris Eubank Jr. said, oh, no, I ain't finna do this, man. I'm too far in my career. I've accomplished too much. I've done too much things. You know what I'm saying? I'm too successful. I'm too known. Why would I take this in a clause? That's all speculation. I don't know if any of this is true. But as of now, from what I'm hearing, from what I'm reading, from what I'm researching, apparently the hold up on getting the actual fight date when it comes to Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr., which was supposed to happen at a catchweight, is the fact that there was a rehydration clause that Eubank was not able to be past a certain weight when he was in the actual ring ready to fight. So I don't know whether or not this fight is actually going to happen. I've seen reports as recently as last week Conor Benn and his team saying everything is nothing but a done deal. We're just waiting on Usyk Jr. to sign the contract. And it was almost like a little push at him too, saying, sign it, you know? That's what it seemed like to me. But it might have just been a little play in words, you know what I'm saying? It might have just been like, let's get this thing started. I don't know. Either way it goes, we had this thing announced about 2 to 3 weeks ago. I'm not sure how long ago it was, but I'm gonna say about 2 to 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can definitely check that out on my channels and my past videos, so you guys get the specific date. But that's, you know, it's very interesting to announce something that actually happened and not have a specific date. Now, obviously, I can get a pushback and say, well, Joseph Parker versus, you know, Joe Joyce, they did that. They announced it, and then Joe Joyce fought a whole nother motherfucker, and now we have the actual fight. But remember, there was an actual announcement after the initial announcement, which wasn't even made publicly. They did it on, well, it was made publicly, but they didn't do it through boxing media that we're so used to. They did it on air, you know what I'm saying, during a fight, which I think was a Tyson Fury Dillian White fight. But they didn't actually publicly made it known through, you know, boxing media until a little bit later, but they didn't have a date. But then they also made it known where the shit wasn't happening. So I don't know, man. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. We'll see if this was a premature type of thing. We'll see if it ends up making it happen. You know, I really do. I want to see Conor Benn versus Usyk. I think it's a good fight, but at the same time, it doesn't do anything for Conor Benn. It doesn't do anything for Usyk. Demetrius Andrade is calling out Usyk Jr. now. Remember that? That was recent. So I think that makes more sense for a weight division. And then if you're saying Keith Thurman is willing to fight Conor Benn, that makes more sense for a weight division. I know Conor Benn is in a sticky situation because he's at 147 and he's with Matchroom in the Zone and Eddie Hearn. And a lot of the best 147ers, or even don't want to say the best, whatever the case y'all want to look at it, because if it was me when I was younger, I would watch myself saying the best 147s. Everybody's good. You know what I'm saying? So the most known 147ers are with PBC, or to make your way up the ladder, for people to know you, especially in a different market, they're with PBC. It's going to be very hard to make that happen because it's very rare. PBC, Eddie Hearn, and Matchroom do business. So when you have a guy strictly from that camp saying, I'm willing to fight Conor Benn, this is actually a very good look. This is another reason why I respect Keith Thurman so much, is because he is not afraid to call people out. He's not afraid to put himself in a position where you'll look at him and you'll say, hey, if this fight didn't happen, what's going on? Why don't you fight him? You're scared. He'll be real with you. He said, well, this is what happened. The promotional company didn't let me happen. They're not throwing me no names and let me sign a contract. Like, he's very upfront. And this is also why I think Keith Thurman is such a beast, but also, a reason why, I'm saying, I'm pretty sure PBC was happy they sidelined him, because Keith Thurman, he's not a Earl Spence, he's not even though Terrence Crawford is with top rank, he's not a Terrence Crawford, he's not a Ugas, he's not a Sean Porter. He's more of a very educated Adrian Broner. He says what he feels. He doesn't have a censor. He puts it out there. And a lot of times this thing that, PBC, the company, doesn't want people to know. But, he doesn't really care, because, he knows he doesn't really necessarily need boxing, especially at this point. So I have admiration when it comes to Keith Thurman. Y'all probably already know that. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting ready for the debate. I got to make sure I hit back my dog on that. So, you know what I'm saying? I'll give you the specifics on what I want to do for the debate. But let's go ahead. Let's get into this article right here, man. Keith Thurman is willing to fight Conor Benn next, man. I'm very impressed by this call out, because, it's rare you'll see a guy all the way overseas, different country, different promotion, especially with a promotion when a lot of times they don't even acknowledge the promotional company Conor Benn is with. But you have to acknowledge that Conor Benn is a goddamn beast, period. If you don't know who Conor Benn is, how good he is, that means, what I'm saying, you're probably casual. But I'm saying, with that being the case, let's get into this article. So this is coming from Boxing News 24. Former unified welterweight champion Keith one-time Thurman says he's willing to fight the young upstart Conor Benn, but he wants to see the money and the contract. Thurman points out he's not a gatekeeper type of fighter, which he said that previously, and is capable of going toe-to-toe with unbeaten welterweight champion Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford, I fully believe. It's unclear if Conor Benn is serious about wanting to fight Thurman, or if he's just talking to get boxing fans interested in him without taking the risk. Because remember, Conor Benn's like I said, he's in a position where he's with a particular promotional company where they don't do a lot of dealings or business with PBC, and that's where a lot of the 147 guys are when you're talking about making money and making a step up in your career. So with that being said, he was calling out a lot of guys when it comes to that particular promotional company. He's saying, yeah, I'll fight Earl. Let's get a fight with Earl. He said, I'll fight Keith Thurman. He called out Adrian Broner. He was really trying to get the Adrian Broner fight, but you see Adrian Broner is looking more so at the 140 division. So he couldn't get that. So after he called out Adrian Broner, he called out Keith Thurman, which wasn't, you know what I'm saying? He didn't expect Keith Thurman probably to respond. Keith Thurman said, yo, it's good, bruh. And you gotta be careful of that because Conor Benn's a beast. But I'm a Thurman fan too. He gets a bad rap. Yeah, he does. It's because he got injured. I don't know, man. Keith Thurman is so weird to me when it comes to how like a lot of people like it's so weird to me how a lot of people look at it like it's like wait, like y'all gonna criticize Keith Thurman for dealing with injuries, even though he accomplished amazing things at a very young age. But his injuries sidelined him for 2 to 3 years, 2 years maybe. And that's, I was frustrated as well. But when he comes back, he's ready to go. He's in full force. That's some great fights. And we still want to make it look as if, you know what I'm saying, he's not who he is. I think that's just wrong because we've seen it in so many other boxers. I just think it's wrong. I just don't understand. It's such a weird mindset to have, though. But Lee Dre Stevens, Benn is a monster. Yeah, Conor Benn is a monster. He is a monster. But Keith Thurman, man, that's a tough fight. That's a very tough fight. That's a very tough fight. I don't see that going anyway in his way. But anyways, going back to it, it's unclear if Conor Benn is serious about wanting to fight Thurman or if he's just talking to get the boxing fan interested in him without taking the risk. If Benn is serious about the Thurman fight, he should direct his promoter, Eddie Hearn, to begin talk. But we all know that's a hard fight for Eddie Hearn as a promoter to even make. I had to Google what his face looks like, so I kind of have an image now. Said Keith Thurman to Fight Hub TV. He's a London boy, European fighter. It seems like he has a decent boxing background, coming from a fighting family. I don't know enough about the kid. You see, I was inactive. I really wanted to have a fight in the summer. That's why I'm getting my weight ready, because we're going to have something before this year is over. But anybody that says my name, you know what you really got to do? Talk that issue if you want to talk that itch. If you talk hard enough, I might have to talk back because I can only let people do so much. I might have done 3 days of silence, but it doesn't mean I'm out here trying to be silent. I'm all about good fights. I'm all about contracts. If his management has a contract and a legitimate payday, anytime they say Thurman won't fight this young fighter, I fight all the young fighters. I fight them all. And remember, that's one thing that Keith Thurman was trying to tell y'all, man. I'm not a gatekeeper. And I think it's disrespectful to say he's a gatekeeper because, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, he's younger than Terrence Crawford and he's only a year older than Errol Spence. So why would you make him a gatekeeper? But, you know, Ugas or Terrence or Errol Spence, like none of these other guys are gatekeepers. Not even Adrian Broner's a gatekeeper. You know what I'm saying? Like why you got to be disrespectful to my guy Keith Thurman? You know what I'm saying? Obviously, because like I said, he talks his shit. If his Benn management has a contract and a legitimate payday, anytime they say Thurman won't fight this young fight, oh yeah, okay. So the only thing is, I love great fights. I love good contracts. So if the money is there on the table, the date is good, we can make it happen. I've never fought overseas. It might entice me. I love doing something new. I just schooled one young blood. I don't mind. I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm a real one. I have the capacity to go toe-to-toe with these undefeated champions right now. And see, that's like, when I hear shit like that, that tells me that, you know what I'm saying, Keith Thurman, he ain't playing, bro. That's telling me that he is not playing. You know what I'm saying? I definitely favor Thurman as well. I think Thurman, you know, Benn is a beast. I think he has a lot of fundamentals. He has a lot of power. And I think if he lands on Thurman will feel it. But, man, Thurman's different, man. And he's not out of his prime. And people are trying to make it seem like he's out of his prime. And I'm like, that's not the case. He's definitely not out of his prime. So that, I think that's the misconception. I also think, too, with Conor Benn calling out Keith Thurman, I think it wasn't like you've seen that one part in the article is basically saying, let's see if Conor Benn is really serious when he's calling out Keith Thurman or if he's really just doing that, you know what I'm saying? So he can kind of get a little buzz and have people saying his name. I don't think he's one. I do think he will fight Conor Benn, but two, I don't think he was serious in the case where he thought the fight could actually happen because like I said, I don't think it has anything to do with someone. I don't want to fight him. I'm scared of this person. I think PBC, Matchroom, DAZN, they very barely do business with each other. Keith Thurman versus Conor Benn will not happen only if somehow Matchroom, DAZN, Conor Benn, they take some massive hit in purse or massive hit in revenue or how they're splitting the shares, because there's no way PBC is going to come with Keith Thurman and say, yeah, let's make this a 50-50 fight. Now they're going to want a massive majority, probably a broadcasting rights, pay-per-view, whatever the case may be. So as much as that would be a great fight, I would love to see it. I do not see it happening. But the main thing I'm trying to get behind, and I'm trying to tell the people, and I'm trying to be 100% about, is the fact that we got to stop disrespecting my man Keith Thurman. It's not right. You got to stop disrespecting my man Keith Thurman. It's just, but it's only a matter of time, because I'm telling you, man, I'm hopefully they will stop doing what he, you know what I'm saying, he's kind of putting out there in the atmosphere. He's making it seem as if, you know what I'm saying, PBC is making it very hard for him to get another fight. PBC is making it hard for him to move, you know what I'm saying, put himself in a position, we can keep talking about him and hope for a big fight. So I'm not sure what's next for Keith Thurman. You see Keith Thurman, he's taking any fight. He said, Danny Garcia, I'll accept the rematch. I'll move to 154, everything. He said, I just want to fight one more time before the end of the year, and I want that joint to make sense. So I don't know, man. Do they got beef with my guy Keith Thurman over there in the PBC world? That might be a possibility. You feel me? And I really hope that's not. But all right, what we finna do, we're gonna move on to the next segment. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Keith Thurman, salute to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Anybody was trying to down him. We got some Adrian Broner news. Right? So that's gonna be next up. Cerebral boxer punter with great feet equals Thurman. Who you predict is next for him? I actually love that. Yeah, that's absolutely cerebral boxer puncher with great feet. Let's also not forget, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if he still has it because he's a little older, but a lot of people say the last thing to go is power. He also has power in both hands. So it's a cerebral boxer puncher with great feet with power in both hands is definitely Thurman. But I know a lot of that pop, you know what I'm saying, definitely, ended up coming off of him from, a couple injuries that he dealt with, especially some of those major injuries with the shoulder. You know what I'm saying? You also know, about the car accident. Some people try to claim that wasn't, real. You know what I'm saying? I had people come in the comments, but it is what it is. Either way, I definitely know for a fact that, he dealt with some major injuries. Anyways, let's move on to the next topic, man. The last topic of the night, man. We're going to be talking about Adrian Broner. We got Adrian Broner problems. Not Adrian Broner problems. I'm just playing with y'all. We actually have some news. I don't know if it's legit news. I don't know if it's real news. I don't know if it's something that, it should even be reported. But I want to talk about it simply because it's Adrian Broner. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to throw up an interview that recently Adrian Broner did with the YouTube channel Cigar Talk, very popular YouTube channel. I'm going to play this for a couple of minutes. I'm going to go take me a little bathroom break while this is playing. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about that news that I was referring to. So let's get this popping here, and I'll be back shortly.
Like a twin.
Yeah, yeah. Was that a hard adjustment, though? Because, to go from, we outside, we hang into, serious training for that long. 6 months is a long time.
I mean, for a regular person, it probably would be tough. But for a nigga like me, when they telling you okay, we gonna give you these millions, but to get these millions, you gotta do this. No problem. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So it went hard.
All right. So tell me about I seen you posted on the gram, I think maybe a week or two ago. You was usually when you was in training camp, there was maybe 15 to 20 people with you, and everybody kind of doing stuff, and now it's just really you, your cut man, your trainer, and you downsized.
Yeah, I mean, it happens, people grow and it happens in life. But for the most part, we all still locked in. We all talk every day, but everybody just doing different things. And so for this camp, it's just it just really just been me and my people and my cut man, my trainer.
Yeah. I love that, bro. Because listen, I've been an AV fan since the early days, the camp, man. You know what I'm saying? We've been fucking with you for a long time.
Right.
When I'm looking at just, this fight, we got the Benavidez fight, Benavidez Jr. coming up. What you see with him, you feel obviously, I think he's a good opponent. Do you see shit that you damn, this is a problem for me? Or how you feel you approach things like that, like this dude?
They just fought last night, right?
Yeah, Danny fought.
Yeah.
Danny Benavidez, yeah.
That ain't no fucking problem for me. They fight at 54, but if they won't smoke, though, I ain't ducking no wreck at all.
Yeah.
But I fuck with Danny, though. Danny, that's my homie for sure. But if they paying us enough, we already said, though, if they decide to pay us what we deserve, we can get in there and fight.
Yeah, for sure. with you training in your regimen, like I said, it been 6 months. Do you feel like it been hard to really cut weight and shit like that? Like getting into you fighting at 40, right?
Yeah, nah, it really haven't. It's just like it's more so just like when a camp is that long, you know, you got sometimes where it's like you wake up in this day like fuck this shit, man. You know what I mean? And then it's like, all right, you take a few days off.
Yeah.
I mean, 6 months. I mean, that's crazy.
That's a long time. Damn. All right. Listen, I gotta get into the history first real quick, cause like we see you now, right? We see AB lit, but niggas, there's a lot of people that watch this show, a lot of street niggas that's, you know, trying to come up and, you know, want to hear that journey. So like, just tell me like, all right, is AB twin in Cincinnati? What's the mindset, young AB before boxing?
It was always boxing. I've been boxing since I was 6, so everything been about boxing. I fell in love with boxing before I fell in love with a girl, so boxing was everything.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what I did. Like, I made sure I went to the gym. I don't care how much money I was making at the time or whatever I was doing in the streets, whatever. I made it to the gym.
Yeah.
It was never a day I never made it to the gym. It was never a day.
My bad, y'all. That was a fire ass interview. I'm gonna have to watch that joint. I'm gonna have to do a reaction to that interview. Seemed like it's gonna be a fire ass interview. Salute to Cigar Talk. You know what I'm saying? But we definitely gonna get into the information that I was talking about to end this live. You feel me? It's not gonna be anything that's like official, anything that's supposed to happen. But I was like, man, this is interesting. And it actually makes sense to me. So I'm going to see what you guys think on this particular topic when it comes to AB. You feel me? How y'all feel about this right here? I'm pulling it up right now. How do you guys feel about this right here? Adrian Broner wants to fight Mayweather in exhibition. He says, why not get in there and make 9 figures apiece? So what does this mean, man? There's, you know, when I saw this headline and when I saw this interview, I had a couple thoughts. You know what I'm saying? I saw it as brilliant, first off and first most. Because, you know, I put AB in that same category that probably a lot of people put AB in the category of is he's still a great. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. But at this point, you know what I'm saying, we know you're just fighting for money. You know what I'm saying? You're not necessarily fighting for something that you feel like is going to manifest or you have not achieved before. You're just kind of fighting at this point to still believe that you still got it and you ain't who motherfuckers is trying to say you is, you know? And when that starts to come into a light as a man, especially as you get older, you start to put your priorities in different places. So, you know, Adrian Broner is probably looking at it as if like, look, man, you know, there's rumors of Floyd going to fight Conor McGregor again. They're saying that's all but official. So we're going to see that happen in the exhibition. Why not fight the guy who tailored everything about himself behind you? And we thought y'all was best friends, but it seemed like they're beef now. You know what I'm saying? That would be a fire fight for exhibition. So, you know, I think Adrian Broner is just putting something out there that's probably going to happen. We'll probably see that happen in the future because, you know, I do think, you know, Adrian Broner is very smart putting that out there. So that was the first thing I thought of. Now, the second thing I'm thinking of is as an Adrian Broner fan, right? Not as a fanboy, right? Because when you're a fanboy, you believe in the, you know, the fighter no matter what. And you also just want the best for him no matter what happens. And you got all excuse in the world for him not performing in the ring and being like, well, you got to take care of his, you know what I'm saying? That's a fanboy, right? I can be a fanboy for AB. I know that's for real. Keith Thurman, you know. I'm not scared to say it. But as a fan who just wants to see him solely be amazing when it comes to the boxing ring, it's that's not what you want to hear because you basically telling me you've done retired. You know what I'm saying? All this hype and all this shit you're talking about where you want to, you know, win a belt one more time before you out of here, whether it's at 147, 140, you say you want to be serious, there's too many options, blah, blah, blah. This is going to be the beginning to the end with this particular fight. And then all of a sudden you just be like, yo, I'm going to say, I want Mayweather in the exhibition. And we over here rooting for you and making like you, that's not a good look for me as a fan. as a fan, not a fanboy. A fanboy, I'm like, get your money. But as a fan, that tells me you already looking at retirement, man. And that's not a good look. What's good with it? R West, salute to you, bro. You made it at the end of the joint, man. Salute to you, man. Salute to you. We here with a unnatural Monday night, Fluenceboxing. But salute to you, R West. Appreciate you being up in here, man. But yeah, man, when it comes, like, I'm like, as a fan, that's not a good look because you're gonna be like, all right, Broner, that means you're probably basing your entire career off of this final fight. If you don't do well, perform well, even if you win, you probably won't, you know what I'm saying, continue to make this, you know, pursue. And that's why I give such applause, or I applaud Keith Thurman so much in his mindset, because a lot of people want to, it's interesting how many people want to count Keith Thurman out, and you can see that everything he's saying all the right things, you know, asking all the right questions, saying, you know, telling us, you know, specifically who he wants to fight. He's not a gatekeeper. And so that tells me, man, we got to be scared a little bit because his fire is back where it should be. But for some reason, you know what I'm saying, with Adrian Broner, we're not, you know what I'm saying, I'm just not enjoying exactly what he's saying when it comes to his return to the ring, or it doesn't make me feel confident, if that makes sense. But I'm still hoping for the best. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be that type of guy where I'm just like, I'm throwing up to the side or nothing like that. It's just, you know, I see him training. I see him talking. Like I was watching that Cigar Talk interview, you know, what I'm saying? I might do a reaction video to that whole entire thing because that looked like it was going to be a really good interview. But I don't know, man. It's AB finally letting the world know, like, man, it's time for me to get, because if you really think about it, the only thing that he really could do from here on out is maybe win one more belt. But other than that, he's done his shit. You know what I feel me? But I'm not gonna be that type of guy who's going to this article. Let's see, maybe they can, you know, tell me something, shed some light, put something into play, and you know, prove me wrong, or maybe give me something else to talk about. So Adrian Broner knows how to wind up with a cool $100 million payday. He just can't figure out why Floyd Mayweather Jr. won't oblige him. Crazy start of article right there. The popular brash boxer from Cincinnati recently said in an interview with Cigar Talk, which we were just watching, that he and Mayweather could make 9 figures fighting each other in a 10-round exhibition bout. Broner, who has something of an on and off sibling relationship over the years with the Hall of Famer boxer, expressed confusion as to why Mayweather has not reached out to him already about such lucrative endeavor. You know, me as a real nigga, me, if I was Floyd and he was me, he wouldn't ever have to fight again, because, you know, that exhibition shit is me being his little brother. Hey, little bro, we finna do 10 rounds and we both gonna get 100 plus for it, and we ain't never got to box again. Well, I've already been getting these bags, but it's time for you to get your just due, and you ain't never had to box again. That would have been done. That would have been done. But I don't know if he wants to see me with that type of money. As to elaborate on the last point, Broner 33, and once again, my comparison with Broner and Keith Thurman to what Broner says to Keith Thurman says is why age ain't nothing but a number when it comes to boxing. Broner is the same age as Keith Thurman, but you can see the mindset of Keith Thurman in comparison to Broner. And people want to discredit Keith Thurman for that, and it drives me absolutely crazy, because y'all want to act like he's some old man past his prime and he doesn't deserve to be in the same atmosphere and the same linguistics or the same English vocabulary as Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. Guys, Terrence Crawford is 34, Earl Spence is 32, Keith Thurman is 33. Why would we not talk about Keith Thurman? Anyways, I can't tell you why. I don't know why I'm just saying this. I'm just wondering why it ain't happened, Broner said. It's so easy. This is so easy. This is a layup. This is going to be the most money you've ever made in your career. I don't care if it's a real fight or if it's an exhibition. What do you guys think? When you think about Floyd Mayweather's career, what is the biggest exhibition fight that he can make? Is it Conor? Is it Adrian Broner? Is it Jake Paul? I might have to drop that question in the community board right there. What is the biggest exhibition fight Floyd can make right now as he gets older and make the most money? Is it Conor McGregor, Adrian Broner? Is it Jake Paul? Interesting. We can do an exhibition 10 rounds. I'm actually going to drop that as soon as I end this live. I'm going to write that in the community board. So make sure y'all answer that. We can do an exhibition 10 rounds. And by the way, so y'all know, tomorrow, I'm going to chop all these segments up. So you guys, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to, anyone who didn't catch the actual stream or actual live, I'm going to chop all these up. So you guys can actually watch the individual segments, you know, so it's not as long. Anyways, I can't tell you why. I don't know why. I'm just saying why it ain't happening so easy, etc. We can do exhibition 10 rounds and the whole world will watch it. And we're going to go in there and go to work and hug and go in the back and get a bag. But at the end of the day, I don't know what his feelings is. I don't know how he's feeling. Mayweather has been somewhat busy on the exhibition circuit since his last promotional bout in 2017. He most recently fought against his former sparring partner, Don Moore, in an exhibition. Last year, Mayweather fought in an exhibition with Logan Paul. Of course, we got the Omar Figueroa Jr. fight with Broner coming up. At the end of the day, why not get in there and make 9 figures a piece? They keep doing all this, and I love Jake Paul. I love Logan Paul. I love what they're doing for the sport. All I'm saying is that I got a fight in 3 weeks. If Floyd called me and said we're going to do an exhibition, I will stop that fight. I will stop that fight, and we'll be doing that fight in September because that will be on pay-per-view. So, like I said, and I will reiterate, as a Broner fanboy, I love hearing that. That's beautiful. That's exactly what I want to hear because you're doing the best for yourself and you're making all the money you can get. As a fan, that tells me my guy, Adrian Broner, is only fighting for the money. And we should not expect too much from him for this Omar Figueroa Jr. fight because this nigga literally said, hey, if Floyd said, hey, we finna do an exhibition man August 29th, you're going to get 9 figures. He said he'll literally be like, man, fuck this event. Hey, some people never change, man. Keep your eyes on that. Hey, look, I want to say salute to people, man. Salute to everybody, man. Tonight, I did something a little different, man. I came with the live. I came with the Fluenceboxing. Hopefully, y'all appreciated this. I don't usually do it this way. I usually give y'all the videos. If you guys prefer the videos, don't worry. I got you on that. Tomorrow, I'm going to chop these joints up. I'm going to give y'all the segments so you can definitely watch that. You can definitely enjoy. You can watch. I'm also going to go to the community board. I want to see what you guys think about the next Floyd Mayweather exhibition. Who's the biggest fight for him? So I'm going to drop that. Make sure you guys got to check that out. Hey, man, we're going to keep dropping content. I know you guys think I be capping when it comes to music. I'm not capping to you guys. I'm still working on music. Don't worry. I have some shit planned to release so you guys can listen to at the end of this month. So we still got music in play. Don't think I forgot about that because I haven't. I got some shit for y'all. So y'all going to. Hey, look, man, we're working in all aspects when it comes to this goddamn channel. I'm trying to give you as much content as possible. I appreciate the people. Much love to the people, man. Double salute as always on the Arnold Schwarzenegger side of the game. I'll be back, but with more boxing. Stay blessed, not stressed. We out here. We working to the fullest. Y'all already know what it is. Look out tomorrow, man. I'm going to be releasing these in segments. I'm also going to have more Fluenceboxing news for y'all. Look out for the community board. I got some questions for y'all when it comes to there. Come up in here, man. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Road to 5K before the end of the year, man. We're trying to make records when it comes to that joint, when it comes to BlakGooseTV family. Notification gang. Comment on this joint. Much love to the people. AB. I hope you beat Omar Figueroa Jr., but God damn it, man. Don't get me stressed out. Y'all already know, man. We got Fluence Line coming this weekend with Teofimo Lopez versus Campa. Tap in, y'all. Much love to the people. Salute to the people. Stay blessed, not stressed, man. We got Monday out the way, but Tuesday.